You can learn every technique about communication, pacing, tone, body language, frameworks. But if your mindset collapses the moment you're under pressure, none of that will actually help you. Because mindset decides how your skills show up when it matters. I am a firm believer that mindset plays a massive role in performance everywhere we go, not just in communication. You can train all you want, but if your inner dialogue turns against you when it's time to actually perform, you'll fall back into self-doubt, second guessing, or just completely freeze. I see this all the time. People spend hours learning how to communicate, but no one talks about how we think when we communicate, what our inner dialogue is actually saying. So that's what we're doing today. There are 3 mindset traps that quietly destroy your communication, even when you know what you want to say. Let's go through them together. The first one is self-handicapping. You've probably yourself said or heard someone else say, "I'm so nervous," or "I haven't prepared enough" before a presentation. It feels honest, right? But what's really happening is that you're practicing or protecting yourself before you even start. That move has a name, and it's called self-handicapping. You claim an obstacle before you even begin, because now if you stumble, you already have a reason for why it happened. And that gives you a feeling of safety. It gives you a feeling that, okay, if something happens, I'm good. Because I was so nervous that it's okay if something happens. But the problem is, by saying it, you make it more likely to happen. You've told your brain what to look for, proof that you're nervous. And the brain always finds what it's told to find. It's like driving a car. If you stare at the tree, you'll drive into the tree. If you focus on the road, you'll stay on it. In driving school, you learn that you should not look at the obstacles on the road. You should actually focus on the road ahead. And that is how you actually get through it. Athletes know this better than anyone. Before a race, they don't stand there saying, "I hope I don't trip," or "I hope I don't mess up. I'm so nervous." They say, "I'm strong. I'm ready. I've trained for this." They are not lying when they're saying it. They are programming their mind to perform. You can literally see them mouthing this on TV. You see them saying, "I am fast. I am strong." It is the same in communication. Before you speak, your brain is listening to what you tell it. So tell it something actually useful. If you walk up saying, "I'm nervous," you set your brain to that frequency. But if you say, "I'm ready, I've got this," you give yourself permission to perform. And you remove one obstacle. Mindset decides most of what happens on stage and in life. Now let's move on to the second trap, which is undermining yourself. This one is quite sneaky because most people kill their own confidence without even realizing it. By undermining themselves mid-sentence. Phrases like, "If that makes sense," "I might be wrong," "This is just my opinion," right? Every time you say those, you water down your message. You sound less certain, less credible, and people stop taking your ideas seriously. Using these undermining sentences show that you don't really trust your own words. And here's the actual truth. If you don't stand behind your own words, your own ideas, why should anyone else? Instead of saying, "This might be a bad idea, but," just say, "Here's an idea." Why undermine yourself when you can just say it cleanly and clearly? Instead of, "I don't know if this makes sense," say, "Here's what I think." Keep it clean, keep it simple, and stop undermining yourself. Now, it's the same sentence, just different presence. And it's not about pretending to be sure of everything. Confidence doesn't mean always being right. It means being clear enough to start conversations and being confident in your way of speaking. You can always change your mind later if something new comes up, but if you enter every single conversation by apologizing for your opinion, people will believe you have nothing worth hearing. So stand behind your own words, even if you're not 100% sure. Frame them with clarity, not apology. The third one is something that I call the perfection myth. This one might surprise you, because I keep hearing this idea that trying to communicate perfectly will kill your authenticity. And I think that is just complete bullshit. People love to say, "Just be yourself." But if yourself doesn't know how to communicate clearly, that has nothing to do with authenticity. That is just pure chaos, stupidness. Skill doesn't kill authenticity, it actually reveals it. Authenticity isn't something you lose when you practice. It is something you find when you know what you're doing. When you understand how communication works, when you know what good behavior looks like, when you've tested different ways of speaking and learned what fits you. It is not fake when it's learned, it is just deliberate, intentional. Actors do this all the time. They study a character for months until the performance feels real. They don't wing it and call it authentic. They practice until authenticity becomes the natural result. It is the same when speaking. The more you understand your craft, the freer you become inside it. I used to be socially anxious. Was that my authentic style? No. That was just a version of me that didn't know how to express what I actually wanted to say. I found my true authenticity when I could finally express myself clearly. When I could say what I meant without freezing. When I could actually connect with people through clarity, not chaos. Authenticity is built through understanding, not randomness. When you know your craft deeply, that is when you can rely on actually showing up. These three traps, self-handicapping, undermining, and perfectionism, all come from the same root, protection. Your brain wants to keep you safe, so it prepares excuses before you start. It softens your words in case you're rejected. And it tells you to stay authentic so you never have to risk improving. But communication has nothing to do with safety. It is all about actual connection. And connection requires courage. It requires clarity. It requires practice. So the next time you're about to speak, note the small moments where you protect yourself instead of actually expressing yourself. Catch them. Replace them. Instead of I'm nervous, say I'm ready. Instead of I might be wrong, say here's what I think. Instead of thinking I should just be myself, find your true self by actually practicing, improving, and testing different ways of speaking. Your words shape your mind, and your mind shapes your performance. Skill gives you the tools, but mindset decides whether you use them. If you want to keep improving your mindset, your confidence, and your communication, this is exactly what we practice inside my community. You'll get daily speaking reps, feedback, and support from people who understands what it's like to build this skill from the ground up. The link is down below if you decide to join. And if you like this type of content, subscribe for weekly videos like this that help you speak clearly, confidently, and connect deeply. See you in the next video. Bye bye.